back to Training Wild Burros. We are here to talk about getting first touch on your wild donkeys or your domestic if you have one that's scared to touch and they're out there. So let us know where you're watching from and if you can hear us. We always like to make sure that you guys can hear us. We'll wait for a couple more people to jump on here. All right. So I see a lot of questions come up, but why doesn't my donkey let me touch him? Okay. And our energy plays a really big role when we're in the wild pen. If we're moving, we need to move at the level of the donkey, right? We need to come to wherever they're at. And if they're afraid to be around us, that's not when we want to be a spaz.
And why would they be afraid to be around us?
Because they think we might eat them.
Right?
Right? They don't know. And their first question is, am I going to be safe? They're always assessing whether or not they're safe or not. That's just how a donkey's mind works. Self-preservation is huge for wild donkeys and donkeys in general. You notice that also, Dan?
Very much so. Very much so. And the reason I asked about, well, why would they be scared? Maybe they weren't so scared yesterday, but today they're scared. What could change between yesterday and today?
And these are questions we always have to ask.
Yeah. Did your donkey have a nightmare and now it's afraid of people? No. Something is different with you. Or perhaps there's a storm coming or something. But if all the weather's the same and that donkey is now more afraid of you today than it was yesterday, the problem is with you. And that may be you're in a hurry. It was a bad day. You've got a written list of tasks you want to get done with your donkey. You might feel a little bit rushed. Those little things can contribute to them being on high alert and being a little more resistant to what they were comfortable with yesterday.
And it happens to all of us. Dan and I have been in the pen where we think that we're offering a good deal and going at the pace that the donkey needs. But then the next time we come into the pen, the donkey is more nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our cue to let us know it's the donkey communicating with us, guys. They're letting us know that they did not feel good with that last session. We did not build more trust with that last session. So then we need to change what we're doing. And it happens to everybody. So if you're out there and you have a donkey and you've had him for a week or you've had him for years and you're having trouble getting the first touch or consistently touching, just keep assessing how much you're moving, how much you are, like being that calm, collected person, showing them your resume that you are indeed qualified to lead them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And sometimes I've noticed when you're objective, if you have an objective that you must accomplish today, and maybe you're a little bit intense, your energy might be the wrong energy, might be a little bit too goal oriented. You may have that donkey that was fine yesterday. Now it's 40 feet away and hiding in the corner in the pen, and it's kind of hard to comprehend that it's not the donkey, it's me or you. That same donkey 20 minutes later, if I ignore him and I start moving panels or moving tires or doing something in a pen and not focusing on him, suddenly they're curious.
So how do we show a donkey that our resume is sufficient to lead them?
You want to ask a clear question, but you also kind of want to have a nonchalant, I could care less attitude if you really want to do it. If you make it less important, it seems to take the pressure off, but it's still important. So it's kind of a psychological trick. Like, yeah, it should be nice if you did that, but if you don't want to, I got better things to do.
I would say part of that is also giving them a break. So we're asking them questions. Will you eat from my hand? Will you eat 20 feet from me? Can I touch your chin? Remember where we go to touch them makes a difference. And then giving them a break. Telling them, I see that you're a little nervous, a little worked up, and then saying, let's just take a break so you can process what you just learned and experienced. If we don't give them those breaks, then we don't make them feel like our resume is good enough for them.
Mm-hmm. And a break may accidentally be that donkey that I talked about that was hiding 40 feet away in the corner facing away from me because it just doesn't want to do school today because I had goals. When I just say, okay, fine, be that way, and I go do another task, and that donkey suddenly is sneaking up behind me, wondering what I'm doing. I didn't plan it that way. I accidentally gave it a break. And now it's like, huh, the pressure's gone. What's he doing? Does he have treats in his pocket? Can I get a freebie? Can I get this? Can I get that? But when you take that pressure away and give him a break on purpose or accidentally, yeah, you're on the right path.
Now, our energy, it comes just not even just from touch, but let's say I want my donkey to walk and I'm like, come on, donkey, versus I'm like, come on, donkey, right? Just the energy in our how we stand and how we move and walk all makes a difference. If we're small, like we're saying, it's okay, you don't have to be afraid. But if we're big, we're saying, move.
And that's the thing. And there's two different types of energy that are important. Gentling energy is different than the clearing the fronts and rolling the hinds energy. Once you have established that trust and the donkey knows you're not going to eat it, and it's now learning minded instead of survival minded, that's when the big energy comes in handy, because donkeys do need motivation and they are affected by your energy level. So I'll make it real clear. High energy while you're gentling, bad. High energy once you have a halter on and you're doing groundwork, great.
But within limits, like if you have a donkey that's nervous about putting the halter on, you're going to keep your energy really low while you're doing that.
Right. I was more talking about a halter broke donkey that's now learning to do groundwork.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this energy starts from the moment they see you. Okay. So if you were in the house and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to do laundry. I got to pay bills. I need to log back onto work. I need to help the kids with homework, like all those different things. And you're walking down there and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do all these things. Our donkey can read it. Think about when you walk into the house and your spouse or your friend, you can you can feel the tension where you can cut it with a knife, even though you can't see that tension. But we can feel each other's tension or excitement. And the donkeys, they're masters at reading that. They're masters at reading body language. So learning to control our emotions while we're in the pen I think it's paramount to get anything done. And then lots of breaks. Now, a break doesn't mean necessarily that you go back up to the house to do something. Like really, they're going to learn to trust you when they start to feel good when you're near them. Now, if it's completely wild, you might not be able to stay in the pen.
Right.
For them to come down. So that is about energy. Energy match where they need to be. If you imagine a ladder, we have to take one step at a time. So we can't go too fast. Have more to add to that, Dan?
No, I think you hit it pretty good.
All right. The motivational part today is another Mark Radshid book. So this one is A Good Horse is Never a Bad Color. Again, I love how he writes his stories in here. Each chapter is like another whole, like sitting around a campfire and listening to the stories. I don't think Dan's not really into reading these books. These are my books.
If it has a lot of pictures, I'll participate.
So I put a link in the description, guys, for that. And then, of course, the Trainingwildburros hat. The W is the ears, in case you guys don't get my humor.
Put that closer.
Oh, closer. Let's see.
Get closer. Here, let me help you. No, actually, no. See that? TWB. The ears are the W, and the little whisk of hair, the little mane in between. That is just the middle of the W.
So that's the Trainingwildburros hat, guys. Then there's all their merchandise. I need to go on there and get some more myself, but there's mugs, and I have shirts that have the logo on the side. And the American flag, because this is a part of American history, working with these wild donkeys.
Yep.
It's a pretty special thing to be able to be part of this. So that's the motivation. And tomorrow we will be back. We're going to go at 5:30 tomorrow. Yes, 5:30 tomorrow because I have a book club, so I need to be able to leave in time. I tried to do it from my vehicle last time, but it was too dark. It didn't work well.
You bring in your book that you got there to the book club?
That's not what we're
What's
reading.
this one called again? A bad horse is never a good color.
That's not what it says.
MaryJo quotes this book all the time. It's a good read. I suggest it.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Let us know if you have other questions because we are here to help. And if you have a donkey that's not accepting touch, remember, go slow, pay attention to your energy and how it affects your donkey, and then give them a lot of breaks. And a break could be 30 seconds or 10 seconds. And then it also could be like 15 minutes to an hour. And we're always watching for their body language, right? So for us to be a good leader, we need to be able to see what they need. And that when their top lip is sticking out further than their bottom lip, that's a parrot lip. That means they have a lot of anxiety. If they're getting wrinkles right here, it's not their age, guys. It's because they're nervous. If their eyes are blinking or wide open like they're watching a horror movie, their tail being like clamped up against them or stomping their feet.
That's what I watch out for. If it's cold out, too cold for bugs, and they're doing the fly stomp, that's showing stress. There's really not winter flies flying around. It's stress.
Then their ears, if their ears are looking around, they're probably feeling somewhat relaxed or okay, or at least it's a sign that they are relaxing. But when their bottom lip is hanging out all loose, that's a good sign of relaxation.
Yep.
So that's what I watch for.
We've had some recent notes dropped on YouTube here, and I think I've seen them on some Facebook sites. People, I'm just going to paraphrase here. People have had Sugar Cubes has been home for a week. She had a rough start to life, and it's been a week, and they can't touch her yet. And people are sad or frustrated from that, and I understand that. They'll get there. That donkey will get there. Don't give up. It might not be the week you had hoped for. It might not even be a month. It could be a few months, but they will get there. And believe me, when they get there, it will feel really, really good that all that hard work and patience paid off, because they are truly wonderful, remarkable animals. So if someone's watching and it's been a rough week and old Sugar Cubes isn't there yet, just hang in there. She'll come around. He'll come around.
You know, sometimes what I get before I get touching, the first touch, is they start to investigate me. When they get so curious that they want to smell me, stand still, don't move, don't look at them, don't even talk.
You know, and we've had that happen recently with a handful of donkeys. When all of a sudden, out of the blue, this donkey who's barely almost letting you touch it suddenly decides to sniff your face. And you can feel whiskers on your face. Okay? They're melting down. They know it's your face. They're not going to bite your lips. Just don't touch them. Don't say nothing. Just let them investigate their face. That's a very big trust.
Oh, yeah.
They've got their sensitive face next to your mouth and teeth. They know you can bite. So it's a very good process. And please don't say nothing. Just let them work your face over with those whiskers.
And don't do anything to cause them alarm. Let them sniff you as long as they want to. So when they're doing that with me, I try not to move my body, my eyes. I don't look at them. Dan will ask me questions sometimes, and I'll be like, I can't talk. I can't move.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's just don't. This is not the time to answer a question. It's not a time to praise, pat, or even try to touch. Just let them sniff your face.
And every time they do it, I think, yeah, just your whiskers, just your whiskers. Because I know that they could bite me, but I've never had one become aggressive when they're becoming so curious that they're investigating me.
Yeah, so I mean, that's not really the time you're going to get bitten. I guess if you stuck your face in one's face when it was hiding in the corner, you could get bit. But when they just decide they want to reach out the olive branch and they want to get a good sniff on this person who's been making them confused and uncomfortable for a while, and they finally get curious. It's wonderful. You'll get there.
And when they stop sniffing you and you move away, or they move away from you, I don't follow them at that point either, because that's where they would have their come down. They just had an experience, and now they have to decide if that experience was good or bad. And if we start asking them questions while they're processing, then we're going to disturb their processing time.
Exactly. You may see them. They might have to go do a little walk around. They may need to go stand and lick and chew and blink and process what they just took in. So please, when you get the old face sniff, just don't do anything. You know, make sure 20 minutes later go around the backside of the barn and then cheer and jump up and down. Because when you get there, when you feel those whiskers on your face, that's a signal that you're well on your way.
I'm trying to think if there's other things. When they're sneaking up on you, like we call them creepers. Like we'll be out in the pen cleaning the pen or throwing hay, and I've had some that they don't start to creep till I'm like just about done with the pen. Where Seamus won't like move out of my way. Like I got to keep asking him to move because he wants to be right there. But having them creep on you again, when they're creeping, that's them showing curiosity.
Yeah, their curiosity is now a little bit stronger than their fear.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, I got to go sniff the back of that person, or I want to get a closer sniff. And we're talking wild, untouched donkeys, or perhaps a rescue situation with sugar cubes who had a hard start. Sneaking, being creepers, that's a good little sign. And again, don't turn around and say, oh, good job.
That's where our energy comes in,
Right,
right? Because
just-
we want to.
Right. Just act like I don't give a hoot if you're sniffing me. Just ignore them. Let them be curious and have nothing bad happen.
Right.
And good job is something bad happening in their mind, even though from your viewpoint, you're giving gratitude and kindness. They don't understand it that way. They think that you're excited about something good or bad. They don't know. They don't care. It's not a reward.
It's not their language. Yeah.
Later on, you'll be able to do that.
Yes.
Later on, we're talking about a recent rescue situation in a while. Then eventually here, it'll be a whole different donkey and a whole different type of rules and ways to do things will take effect. So you're at the hard part now. If you're gentling, you're at the hard part. There's really fun days coming, I promise.
Now, like for more inspiration, guys, when I first got Seamus, he's not wild, right? I don't think he had the best start at life. I don't know that if he was abused, but I don't think he had the best start at life. But I used to try to get him to do things, and it would take me like an hour. Now, guys, he was my first donkey. I had no clue what I was doing. And I thought, there's no way this donkey is going to do that. And when I would see other people doing it, I'm like, they must be like smoking wacky tobacco because there's no way. There's no way. But now Seamus will do those things. So,
Seamus smokes wacky tobacco?
no, like the people who said that these things could happen.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I was kidding.
I'm like, there's just no way that Seamus, like, he's not going to trot next to me, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to get him in hand and trotting next to me. I can hardly get him to walk.
Remember when Seamus first came to us many, many, many moons ago? I remember thinking, really? Miners use these things to pack their goods out west? I mean, what did it take? 4,000 years to get from from the East Coast to Montana?
Right?
What is it? So he's come a long way.
So stick with it. Don't give up. There is hope. Your donkeys will come around. We have to pay attention to our energy and meet them where they're at. Give them breaks. I think those are the most important. Can you think of any more?
No, I can't. I'm just trying to drive home for everyone that hang in there.
Yeah.
They'll come around. It probably won't be on your timeline, but it'll come. They'll come around,
Never
and
on
when
our
they do,
timeline.
I mean, every now and then we get some real miracle donkeys, and they're like totally trained in 3 weeks. But that's not normal.
No, those ones we wonder how they could have ever survived in the wild.
Those are, yeah. We've had some donkeys. We've gone through a lot of donkeys. Okay, this isn't just a passive once in a while thing. We've had donkeys come in that took a couple months to get first touch on. We've had donkeys come in that we had them haltered tomorrow, like the next day. We've had some, you swear, they got loose from a petting zoo on Roundup Day and got captured. Okay, that's how easy they were. And then we've had the other end of the spectrum and everything in between.
I think I have something else to add about touch and getting them to accept it and to know it's okay. At this stage, we're using a lot of food. We call it pay because we're not just giving it to them because they're cute. I don't pay them for being cute at all. But when I touch them, let's say I'm at the point that I'm doing it on purpose, right? Not letting them touch me on accident. I'll touch them, I say deet, and then I pay them. And then after they can do that and not move away or lean away, then I start doing the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deet, and then I pay them. Now, when I go to pay them or when I go to touch them, if they're flinching or leaning, I'll just lean away and say, oh, I see you're scared. Okay? Let them know that you can read their body language. I think that is huge with this.
That is huge. And there's some training homework for you. There's a trainer out there that we love, Warwick Schiller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go watch yourself some Warwick Schiller, because a lot of what he talks mostly about horses. But this will apply to the psychology of a donkey. Absolutely. That he is a gifted trainer. Highly recommend you stop by his channel and watch some of his videos.
Absolutely. I use his stuff with the donkey, some matching steps. I do that. I started it with Stein, who was a Mustang.
I watched it happen. Get this, okay? So we're out watching Warwick Schiller on YouTube, and he's kind of a new age guy, and he's matching steps. I think it was with a Mustang to get it to calm down, and he did he match steps with this Mustang, and I believe it like laid down for the first time in 5 years, and I did it in the middle of a clinic. And I thought, wow, was there drugs involved, or what sort of sorcery am I watching? That I was suspicious. We went down to the pens the next day or later that day. We had a really high-strung, nervous Mustang, and MaryJo matched steps with that Mustang.
I think 45 minutes.
And did he lay down, or was it Frank who laid down?
I think the laying down was a separate session.
So, okay, I think when I did it with Frank, he did lay down. And Stein became a whole different horse after MaryJo. It was a very high-strung horse that, we didn't know if he was going to leave a horse-shaped hole in the fence.
I think what happened with him was that he started to follow me more.
Yes.
And then
His head got lower.
really low. Like Stein was like, he was a year when we brought him home, and he felt so giant because he held his head up high all the time.
Yeah, he's like a llama. Yeah, his head's that high.
But when I matched steps with him, he started putting his head down lower. It would get parallel to his withers, and then even lower, and he would start following me around and creeping up on me. Like, I did a lot of different things to help him, like, relax. And I use it with the donkeys even today. Like, if I'm in the pen and they're moving around, I always try to make sure I'm matching up my steps with them.
Yep.
And I think part of Warwick's reason that he does that, now I'm recapping, guys, but if you're watching in the wild, like wild animals walk around, or even maybe your pasture, they're going to match steps naturally. And I think he claims that if you're just walking, like Dan and I are walking in the store, we will match steps naturally, that it's just a natural thing. And that when we do that with them, we're showing them a very high level of awareness. And that ups our resume to the animal, because they think, oh, you are aware enough to be my leader. I'm okay following you.
They were able to let their guard down because they know there's a leader in the pen. Again, not necessarily here to represent Warwick Schiller, but look him up. His teachings will help you a lot in a donkey pen.
Yeah, I like what he does. All right, guys, we don't have anything more, but focus on those things. Let us know in the comments how it's going. Like, how is it going getting first touch with all of you out there that struggle with this still? Because it's a real struggle. And I know that feeling of like hopelessness when you can't or you haven't got it yet. But don't forget, it's just yet. It will come.
Even yes, the frustration can be, you've been doing everything right in your mind. Okay, you followed a successful recipe, but the donkey's not there yet. They'll get there. It's just not going to be on people time.
I can't tell you how many times I've come up from the barn like, what do I need to do for this donkey? Because I'm just not getting through to it, or a Mustang or whomever. And it always comes down to, so far I haven't dealt with any that are like mean. I haven't had any like that.
No.
That they're nervous. And so then it's like, what do I need to do? How much do I need to slow down to help them not be nervous?
Right. Yep.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be back at 5:30 again tomorrow because of my book club. And I want to check for any comments. I don't see any comments. So we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.